So let us get inside that meeting, the National Executive Council meeting of the party, and tell ourselves some home truths, and go back to the original concept enacted by the founding fathers of this party. We departed from that, and we headed into being creating individual companies rather than a united, strong political party. No individual is bigger than the party. And that was what we exhibited. And we've seen the result of it. If they don't want to listen, that they want to continue in this channel of mismanagement, me as Bode Judge, I've run my race, I've run my time, and I will finish well. I will pack my bag and baggage and head home, because history will come back to tell them.
You made certain proclamations, and as an elder statesman and a man of your words, and a Christian also, who always seeks to probably live by the words he actually puts out there, it's almost contradictory. Some would say that at one point in time you said, if this happens, this will be your reaction. But it seems that events have overtaken that particular thought, and right now you seem to be going back on your words. Talk to us about this.
Now, let me be very clear, because, you know, in this modern day, you have all kinds of stories will fly around. And I want to thank you for giving me a singular opportunity to put the record straight. Yes, I said it, and I meant what I said, that if peradventure he became the president of this country, I won't live here. I will be watching Nigeria with my long binoculars from afar. I didn't mince my words. But the issue now is, as the complete process being completed, the elections are not over. You know, there are disagreements between the major parties, and the next level is to go to court for adjudication. So nobody can, okay, the Professor Yakubu pronounced Bola as the president and gave him certificate in the middle of the night. But my party and some other political parties are still in court. So it's not over. And when it's over, we will weigh the pluses, the minuses, and come to a conclusion. But like you said during your introduction, Papa Olusi, apart from being the leader of the forum in their party, is like an elder brother to me in Lagos. And traditionally in Yoruba land, if an elder says he wants to come and see you to discuss certain points, you don't throw him away, you don't disrespect him. Because what you do to your elders, you think the younger ones coming behind you will do the same thing to you. Respect to elders is a primus inter pares in our own culture. So when I got the message that he sent a word to me that he would like to see me, I asked my good friend who told me, I said, I hope there is no problem. Why would Papa want to come and see me? Let him tell me to come to his house. I'll go there. But he said it was political. I said, oh, political? Okay, why not? So Papa came here, and he told me, you know, in unclear terms, that look, Bode, I came here for 3 issues. Yes, sir. First one, that time he came alone. And he asked my friend, Dr. Adeniji, to be a witness. So the 3 of us sat in my office and said, he came here for 3 issues. The first one is to apologize to you because of what had happened to you, which, you know, was through Bola. The second issue was that he wants us to establish a platform in Lagos where irrespective of your political affiliations, you will be able to discuss matters that will affect Lagos. So 2, 3 heads, whether you are in their political party or not in their political party, you are a Lagosian, that will positively impact Lagos will be a major issue. So that was the second item on the discussion. Then the last one was, he said, look, enough is enough. He would advise that I should go and pay my congratulatory visit to Bola Tinubu. Immediately, I said, Papa, let me start from where you stopped. I belong to another political party, and I'm an irredentist PDP man. Not only that, I am a life member of the board of trustees of the party, and the only one representing the Southwest in the national caucus of our party. Our party is in court with this gentleman. How do I explain to the party members? How do I explain to my children? How do I explain to my family members? How do I explain to my friends that I would jump the ship and go? I wasn't brought up that way, and I will not do it. So he said, okay, we will come back again, bring some more people. So on Saturday or Sunday, this last week, Papa came with the retired Justice Olorun Nimbe, a 94-year-old man who is also like a big baba to me. And then there were 2 other former deputy governors from Lagos State. And they came, and he repeated the same issues. On my side, I invited our elders too, Mrs. Onikepo Oshodi, Senator Kofoworola Bokno, Akerele Bokno. We invited Dr. Akitoye, Dr. Adeniji, and some others, so that they will be participants at the meeting. So they raised the same 3 issues. The first one to come and beg me. And I told Papa in unclear terms that there is nothing personal between me and this gentleman. I have nothing personal. All I disagree with are his methodologies of governance, his own ways of managing the resources of the land for the benefit of the people. It's not impacting on the people. I am a thoroughbred Lagosian. I was born and bred and grew up here. There is so much degradation. Go to my local government. First of all, Femi Gbajabiamila had been here. We had discussions. I told him all the things I want them to do in Lagos. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that let Lagos be like the best city in the world. Make life more meaningful. Impact on the minds of the people positively, because the power rests with the people. But if there is nothing rather than that, the method of management, the financial management, completely despicable. So I said to them, I have no qualms, I have no objection, and as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing personal, sir. If whatever he had done to me in the past, as a Christian, like you said, vengeance is the Almighty God's. It's not mine. And I've already seen those who are the active players on the ill wind. They have suffered for it already in this life. So for me, the last option, the last request was that we should, whether the court has finished or the court has not finished, or the processes are over or not, I should also join the others to go and congratulate Bola Tinubu, like he said our group, Wike and Sheyi had done. I say I'm not Sheyi and I'm not Wike. I'm much older than them, and that's their opinion. For me, if peradventure, at the end of the analysis, our party is still looking forward to winning at the court. So if I jump ship, how would I look like? Like a swine? Like a traitor? Ah, come on. I was born into a political family in this Lagos, and respect for what is right, what is just, what is fair. That are the ways of my upbringing. Nothing personal. If they say he has won, and I said it, that it is for me to decide whether I will live under the control of this, and he cannot individually control me. I won't break the laws. And what we want is the rule of law. What is democracy? The government of the people, the rule of law. And when you go to every court in this country, you find the lady of means and the lady of justice blindfolded with a sword and a scale. And she dispenses justice based on facts. So let's wait until the outcome of the Supreme Court. For now, I don't agree. We're going to say congratulate him before. I will never. But the judge will never do that, because that will be a sign of being a traitor. Number two, I will also be breaking the electoral process, because it's until the court decides that you will now definitively conclude that elections are over. I hope my explanations are clear. I have nothing against him as a person. He offended me.
That's actually very clear.
Come and gone. I'm still alive.
Well, that's actually very clear. I can see you're very optimistic about what the outcome of the Election Petition Tribunal will be. But based on past events, what are the likely chances that his victory at the polls will be overturned at the tribunal? That's the first part of my question. Then you said you allowed Paolo Lucy and his team to visit because traditionally you have to respect your elders. But if you're insisting that you're still going to leave the country, wouldn't that also be, can't it be termed as also being disrespectful to their request traditionally?
No. Don't get it wrong. Let me start from your last question. That is, I am getting close to 80 years. I can decide to do whatever I want. I don't subject my biological father, my biological mother, they have gone. So I am also the head of the judge family here in Lagos. So if I make any decision on my own, I will consult all of them. I can decide to go and live in on the North Pole or South Pole or anywhere I want to live. I'm no longer a kid. I want to live the rest of my life where I will be cushioned. I will be in a civilized environment. Look at the squalor in my state now. We are telling them, establish skill acquisition programs in each local government. All these boys are doing with disturbing all the traffic people. That is not the Lagos of my own dream. I was born here. I grew up here. In those days, we used to have little stadia where we used to play. The elders who manage us, you learned how to play table tennis. You learned how to play all kinds of games. So what is happening now? We lost it. And there is a state of helplessness and a state of hopelessness. Establish it. What is Alpha Beta Company? Send them money to establish programs for these young minds. Otherwise, what are you projecting for the future? That's why I said, look, we've been talking and talking. If they don't want to listen, I don't want to be part of that. I'm not running away because he's president. I want to go to anywhere where I will have the peace of my mind until God calls my flight. You know, Psalm 90 verse 10 in the Holy Book says 70 God guaranteed those years for you. And if you are strong enough, he will make you up to 80. So what am I still doing? But to keep thanking the Almighty God and serve him and do things that will place me before him on the resurrection morning. The issue of the elders, I'm not disrespecting the elders by saying I will still not accept or go there to greet him, congratulate him. I have looked at it. How would I look like? I told you I am a live member of the board of trustee of my political party. Number one. Number two, I am the one representing the Southwest in the national caucus of my party. My party is still in court. We could win. I'm not a lawyer. You're asking me. They tell us we are not learned. I'm not a lawyer, but we will follow the logic, like they did in Osun. We listen to the judgment, and so we will listen to the judgment by the Supreme Court eventually, and that's why we are saying, please don't rush into any inauguration. Let it be a carnival. Right now, the whole atmosphere is like a graveyard silence. There's no jubilation anywhere. We are under tension. And now we are going to borrow another $800 million to do what? To share it at the tail end of this administration? I want to appeal to Mr. President. Please stop it. Because you promised us that you will leave a very positive legacy. And that is the electoral process. That it will be second to none in the world. Look at the charade. I am a computer-trained engineer. And I want to give an example. You know, on board the ship, you have a missile fired at your ship. The missile is flying towards you. All right? Now, you have your early warning radar, you have the systems, the weapons radar. So, the computer will compute and calculate the speed of that missile, the time of flight that it can reach and hit you. You know what we do? You will now say, on that day and H hour, there was a glitch in the computer. What are you talking about? You know what that means? All of you will die. So there is no system designed that is not robust enough. If there is a glitch, it will immediately reroute to find a solution. So this story by the professor has no depth at all. No depth at all. But we wait for the judges, we will listen to their story, and any decision at the Supreme Court becomes a supra. I'm not a lawyer, but I know they will now refer to those, comments and judgments and all that for future purposes. Their children will read the judgment and clarify whether they were just or they were fair and they were equitable. If not, they will never be on the good pages of our history. That's all.
All right, Chief Bode George. I see that you feel strongly about the plight in Lagos State. Several people in Lagos State actually share your sentiments.
Oh, yeah.
But some would say you have been in a vantage position to change all this. And over the years...
How?
By probably being, like you said, being a strong chieftain of the PDP in the Southwest. But yes. The PDP has not been able to upset the apple cart in Lagos State. And some count it as a failure on your own part, because it's one thing to feel aggrieved about the plight of Lagosians. It's another thing to be in the vantage position to change that. Since 1999, the PDP continuously and consistently have failed to be able to rise to power. You will need to explain to us. You say you are at the exit of your political career and also reaching that particular point whereby you might be withdrawing. Looking back, is it almost impossible for the PDP to do something to ensure that they get into the government house in Lagos State? And secondly, we know the cases in courts in terms of the presidential elections, but talk to us as an elder statesman, looking at the party from your own vantage point also. Did the Wike factor and the G5, what role did they play in derailing the plans of the PDP in ensuring that they get victory at the polls? Talk to us about this.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's a very salient question you have asked me. Let me start with the first one. That the PDP has never won any election in Lagos. I think you need to recheck. There was a time we won square and neat. One of our very prominent leaders, I will save his face by not mentioning him, came publicly to apologize to members of the party that it was him who manipulated the result for his friend Bola Tinubu to win. That was his second term, Bola's second term in office, and apologized profusely, telling us, please forgive me, I did it. You know, all the shenanigans that had gone past, the methodologies, the procedure of the electoral process, absolutely shambolic, disgusting, disgraceful. We had never had any thoroughbred elections in this country. And when General Buhari came, you remember when he made a broadcast, an international broadcast, every child of Nigeria, whether diaspora or within, we were all very happy that I want to leave a positive legacy, that I want to change the electoral process in this country, that we will engage computers so that the interlopers, the mismanagers, those people who will go there, manipulate the results, will no longer be involved. I was jubilating here. I called all our people. We were clapping that for the first time in our nation, I am happy that I am going to see the real will of the people, that we will now respect the will of Nigerians. Because all along, once you finish from your polling unit and they hand carry the results to the collation center, what do they do there? They will start to manipulate the results. And they will use their strength, police and whatever, to drive you, the opposition, out of the place. Now, that had been the bane. So when he said that, the chairman of INEC also came up, that they have bought a system. They tried that system in Anambra. It was flawless. They tried it in Ekiti. It was flawless. They tried it in Osun. You remember the judgment of Osun? That anything that didn't go through the computer, null and void. We were clapping. But on this D-Day of the general election, before then, Professor Yakubu told Nigerians that they had done a test run. Everything was ready. They were going to deliver the best for this nation.
Let me realign this discussion again. We are talking about the consistent failure of the PDP in Lagos State. And just to throw this into the mix also, some would also say that maybe he'd even support the PDP in this last election in Lagos State, that probably the candidate of the Labour Party was your preferred candidate in Lagos State as against the PDP's candidates.
That is a load of trash. People will spin all kinds of stories. I told you, I am an irredentist PDP man. That the cause and effect of the situation at that time, you think, you know, why, ask yourself this question, why did we lose this last election? I, as a senior member of the party, I have reserved my comments for our party post-mortem analysis. But because you asked this question, if there is an action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. The mess they created, the managers of the party at the national, they created a monumental crisis for the party. And that is what was responsible for the loss of the PDP at most of the elections. Where was, they said I supported the Labour Party. I didn't support Labour Party. It was a decision of the Omo Eko Pataki to look at, because the PDP was messing up big time. I walked out of a national meeting because what they were doing was despicable. And I have no qualms for that. We have learned a lesson now. And I tell you, the way that these people are going, the APC, you know, they copied this zoning thing from us. You can hear the cacophony of voices. That was how we started. They have to be careful. Now, they want this position, this should be zoned here. There is a systemic way of doing it. And we violated it. Because we violated it, I spoke to them in private. I spoke to all our leaders in public. And so I took my decision. Because where was Gbadebo Rosevival coming from? Was he not a PDP man? Was he not a PDP man? And the Labour Party, is it really a political party? It's a wind of change. And then the other fellow, where was Obi coming from? Was Obi not a PDP man? So if you look at the totality of it, don't just take them in bits and pieces. There was a cause, a reaction, and a counter-reaction for that. But we will go back into the inner chambers of our party to address this issue and make a definitive solution that nobody again will violate. It was the mismanagement of the managers of the party at the national that created. It's not only here. Did you hear what the former vice president, architect Sambo, said about Kaduna? That people now sat in Abuja firing this and firing that. A divided house is a defeated house. So those are issues. They are not just things that, don't worry, very soon I'll be retiring. And my memoirs will be a book of memoirs at the political class in any university for those up-and-coming politicians. Because you've learned so many positive things and so many negative things,
Chief
things that were put in by the players, defining themselves away from the norm of the party.
In the event that the tribunal upholds Bola Tinubu's victory at the polls, or that the courts uphold his victory, what next for the PDP? Will the G5 be sanctioned? Will there be reconciliation? Will there be rebuilding? Are you worried that there might be a wave of defection to the ruling party? Your thoughts?
It is, for me, the best thing will be for us to have a post-mortem analysis and tell ourselves some serious home truths. We will shut the doors like we used to do, analyze, we will be factual, we will be honest, we will be quite straight with ourselves, tell ourselves the mistakes from all sides. Because what I have seen in the play out, there have been so many mistakes on all sides. So let us get inside that meeting, the National Executive Council meeting of the party, and tell ourselves some home truths. And go back to the original concept enacted by the founding fathers of this party. We departed from that and we headed into being creating individual companies rather than a united, strong political party. No individual is bigger than the party. And that was what we exhibited. And we've seen the result of it. If they don't want to listen, that they want to continue in this channel of mismanagement, me as Bode George, I've run my race, I've run my time, and I will finish well. I will pack my bag and baggage and head home. Because history will come back to tell them, if you refuse the ways and means by which your party was founded, it's like building your house on a faulty foundation. A house built on sand, what will happen? It will collapse. But those founding fathers, most of them are gone now. The ones that are alive are too old to contribute. They know there are 6 geopolitical zones. They created that. That is not in our constitution, but it was a working process and created 6 top positions in the land. The president, the vice president, the senate president, the speaker, the secretary to government, and national chairman of the party. Every zone will go home with one of these or the other. After 8 years, all the 3 at the top in the north will come to the south. All the 3 in the south will go to the north. Once you deviate from that, you are looking for trouble. And we got plenty of that trouble. And I hope we've learned a lesson. And we will go back and tell ourselves some home truth. It's for the future. This had happened, and we must avoid the pitfalls. If you don't learn about the history and the pitfalls of the past, you will continue to land yourself in the abyss of life. That is not our mission. This nation is so blessed. This nation has so much to offer other countries in the world. Look at it today. Look at Kenya. Since Jomo Kenyatta became the first prime minister, there had been problems. But recently, they went to an election. They went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, no, go and refix the election. It was not proper. They went to the election. The man who won and the one who lost, they congratulated themselves and swore that all this tribal nonsense will never again. Look at Kenya today. Look at Rwanda. 5-6 years ago, it was bloodshed here and there. We thought that country would never come back. But somebody rose up. We need that kind of quality of leader who will rise above this pettiness and engrange in the minds of our people that the purpose of public service is to utilize the resources of the land for the benefit of the people. If we do not do that, I don't see where this country is going. And now, from Lagos to Maiduguri, from Kano to Delta, from Sokoto to Calabar, who is happy? Who is happy? Whether you are a rich man or a poor man, who is happy? Is that the nation we want? We were the giant of Africa. Where is that giant today? They don't even invite us anymore to G20. Rwanda now is the best attractive state in the whole of Africa. How? We fought like hell to save Rwanda. We sent our boys to Rwanda to keep peace. We sent our people to South Africa, our military officers, during the raging wars there. Where is South Africa today? Where is Nigeria today? Please, let's do something about this. No individual can turn it into his fiefdom. No, it's not a private company. It is a united something for all of us Nigerians. And that's all I'm praying for. And God will grant us. We must be full of prayers, because it's only prayers that can deliver us. No manipulation, no calculation. Okay, you want to be this? What is the rush of 29th of May? 29th, we must go. We must inaugurate. Inaugurate what? The process is not over. Let it be over. Let it be over.